All right, let's dive into the brand new 2024 D&D rules because we're taking a close look at a classic background, the Acolyte. Now, it's gotten a total redesign, and trust me, the changes are, well, they're way bigger than you'd probably expect. So let me ask you this right off the bat. What if your character's background wasn't just, some flavor text? What if it gave you real magic, like actual spells right from level 1? Just keep that question in your back pocket because that idea is at the very heart of this whole redesign. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, what the redesigned Acolyte even is. Then, we'll get into the mechanics, the brand new divine feat, that's a big one, how to craft your character's story, and finally, we'll figure out if this background is right for you. All right, first up, the redesigned Acolyte. So, what does it actually mean to be an Acolyte in the 2024 rules? Let me tell you, it's a whole lot more than just having a loose connection to a church somewhere. The basic idea is still there, right? Your character's entire life has been built around devotion, around some kind of sacred duty. Maybe you were a quiet scholar poring over ancient texts, or maybe you were a leader in rituals, or hey, maybe you're the last survivor of a cult that fell apart. The possibilities here are just huge. But here's what I think is really cool. The new rules really push you to work with your DM. You're actually encouraged to sit down together and figure out the details, your temple, your faith, your duties, and super important, why you left. It's not about just checking boxes on a list anymore. You're building a story together that's baked into the world right from the start. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Your mechanical foundation. We're talking about the nuts and bolts, what this actually looks like on your character sheet at level 1. So, under the new rules, every background gives you this really nice flexible package. You get to choose your ability score bumps, either a +2 and a +1, or 3 +1s. Total freedom there, which is awesome. You also get skill proficiencies in insight and religion. Makes perfect sense, right? You're trained to understand faith and the people who follow it. On top of that, you get calligrapher's supplies and a free language. Pretty solid. And naturally, you get the starting gear to go with it. We're talking a holy symbol, a prayer book, vestments, all the stuff that immediately screams Acolyte. Plus, you get your calligrapher's supplies, some traveler's clothes, and 10 gold pieces to get you on your way. All right, now for the bit I've been waiting to talk about, the new divine feat. This is the real game changer. This is what makes the 2024 Acolyte a completely different beast, and frankly, a way more powerful one. Now, if you've been playing for a while, you're probably thinking, wait, what about Shelter of the Faithful? You know, that old feature that basically gave you free room and board at friendly temples? Well, it's gone. But trust me, what they replaced it with is a huge upgrade. And you can really see the shift in design philosophy here. The old version was a narrative perk, right? It was situational. The new version is pure mechanical power, something you can use all the time. Your connection to your temple? That's all about role-playing now, not a built-in freebie. See, in 2024, every background gives you a feat at level 1. And for the Acolyte, you get Magic Initiate, Divine. What that means is, no matter what class you pick, you start the game with a little spark of divine magic. Pretty cool, huh? So what does this divine spark actually get you? Well, first, you get to pick 2 cantrips from the divine spell list. Think utility stuff, like guidance, or maybe an attack, like Sacred Flame. Then, you get to choose 1 first-level divine spell. And we're talking about heavy hitters here, like the amazing Bless or the classic Cure Wounds. And the best part? You can cast that spell once per long rest, for free, no spell slot required. Look, I really can't stress this enough. This is a massive power boost right from level 1. A fighter who can heal? A rogue who can cast Bless on the whole party before a big fight? This one feat just blows the doors wide open for incredible character concepts. It adds so much utility and survivability from the get-go. Okay, so the mechanics are obviously powerful, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about crafting your character's story. This is the soul of the Acolyte, right? You might remember the old way of doing things, rolling on a bunch of tables for your personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws. Well, that's all gone. Instead, the 2024 rules give you these really thoughtful role-playing prompts to help you create something way more personal. So instead of just rolling for a generic bond, the book asks you something like, consider writing about the event that sent you into the world. I mean, what a great question. What was the thing that pushed you out the temple door? A crisis of faith? Some kind of divine vision? An order you couldn't refuse? That one question is basically the starting point for your entire adventure.
And it's not just that one question. The book prompts you to think deeper about your beliefs, your relationship with your temple, and maybe your god, and even your own doubts and fears. This stuff helps you build a character that feels like a real person, and man, it gives your DM so much good stuff to weave into the story.
Okay, so we've got all these awesome changes. The big question is, who should actually play an acolyte? Let's talk about finding the perfect fit for this mix of story and power.
Well, the obvious choices are clerics and paladins, right? It just makes their divine connection even stronger. But think outside the box. It's fantastic for so many other classes. How about a monk from a serene monastery? Or a bard who's also a religious scholar? Maybe a sorcerer whose power comes from a divine ancestor. You could even play a warlock who broke free from a cult and now channels a little bit of holy magic. The flexibility here is just, it's amazing.
When you boil it all down, the 2024 Acolyte is just a home run. It's more flexible for your build, it's way more powerful thanks to that feat, and it's so much more story-driven. It's the whole package. So I'm going to leave you with this. With these new rules, you can create just about anything. A fiery missionary, a jaded relic hunter who somehow still has a touch of divine magic, a gentle healer who got thrown into the adventuring life against their will. The possibilities are just endless. So really, the only question is, what kind of acolyte are you going to create?